If you're anything like me, you like to protect and display your retro video game collection. The problem with retro video game cases is that most of them were made out of carton, which are not very protective and they are very hard and expensive to get. Oh Sega, you did very well for us. But not always, you little bitch. For some time now we've had these universal game cases from media shelving, but we also now have these very nice cases from BitBox that you can find from Stone Age Gamer. I'll put the links in the description below. The universal game cases have a sleeve that you can put your artwork in, which you can get from the cover project. Again, link in the description below. In these cases you can actually print in a letter size paper with a small cut in the top and bottom. It will fit really nice. So which games can we fit in? Well, officially we can fit Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games. But how about different games? Like for the Atari Jaguar, will it fit? It does fit. Not perfectly, but the game does fit securely inside. Other weird shaped games like EA games for Sega Genesis, they also fit. Again, not perfectly, but you can use it for that. What about Sonic and Knuckles? It fits. It falls, but it fits. Hey, Sega Master System, it fits as well. Sega 32X, no problem. Atari 2600. Here comes the real compatibility test. There we go. Perfect. The games also fit with dust covers, but they do create a slight bump. But you know what it doesn't fit? NES games. They don't fit at all. You can make them fit, but to do that you need to cut these plastic cutouts. And as you can see, they are very fragile and you can damage the box. And they are also a pain in the ass to cut. Now there's a couple of problems I had with these cases that sent me in search of other solutions. One of the problems, as you can see here, the cases don't really seal. You have these openings here, and I've had cases where debris will fall inside and accumulate over time. And to me this is a problem because when I open the box and I see dust or any kind of debris, it just bothers me a little bit. The second problem, and the actual problem that sent me in search of other type of covers, is that if you want to store your games with its own manual or booklet, you can technically put it inside, but it tends to bend them. And if you have a dust cover, it becomes even worse. The manual that started it all to me was this Mario Paint one. This one was pristine when I got it, and now look at it, it makes me fucking crazy. So now let's look at the BitBox offerings from Stone Age Gamer. The first one I got here is made for the NES games. As you can see, it definitely has much more room inside, not only to accommodate the game, but also any booklets you might have. And when closed, is sealed. So overall, the games and manuals are very well protected. Now the boxes for the Super Nintendo are pretty much the same as the NES ones. The cutouts are perfectly done for each one of them, for the NES and for the Super Nintendo games. Now, can you fit other type of games? Yes you can. In both the NES and the SNES version, you can fit pretty much the same type of cartridges. Though I do prefer the Super Nintendo ones because the cutouts that it has sometimes make it better for certain type of cartridges. Perfect. Now these cases are definitely not perfect. One of the problems I have with them is that you cannot fit any game with any type of dust covers. It doesn't matter if it's the NES one or the Super Nintendo one. I understand that this is done because of how perfect the cutouts are for each game, but still I just like to have the dust covers, I just like the way it looks. But again, in its defense, you probably don't really need any dust covers because they are very well protected inside and I don't think any dust will come in. Also, if you're not careful and apply a little bit of force, you can deform the plastic and it's not coming back the way it was. Cases are different sizes. Here you can see the three stuck together. This means that they will not fit together perfectly, not even between BitBoxes. But this also means that if you have them stuck together very tight, it's easier to take them out. But personally, I like it much better how the universal game cases look in my storage racks. I really don't understand BitBox for making these cases so big. Because not only do they look like they don't belong, but also the printed covers don't fit if you plan to use letter size paper. For the NES ones you can print in a legal size paper and be careful to print with these measurements. And they will look like this, which is not bad. But with the Super Nintendo cases, since they are the same height but they are much longer, now if you don't want to distort the picture, you need to use the same measurements as the NES one and they would look like this. You can see that there's a gap. It really doesn't look very well. You can print covers directly from Stone Age Gamer, and I guess they're gonna be tailor-made so it would fit perfectly, but they charge for it, and I guess that's the plan all along. And this leads me to what's probably the biggest issue. Looking at the media shelving offerings, you can get them for a fraction of the price. Now, let's be clear, the cases from Stone Age Gamer are much better quality, and not all the received cases from media shelving are pristine upon arrival, but at the price you can buy them, I'm not sure it's that much better. Then they charge you for the documentation strap, which should be included if you ask me, and we have to remember all the different issues I talked about. After all that, I'm left terribly unsatisfied with both offerings. I guess if I could have a hybrid of the two, the build of the BitBox with the size and price of the Universal game cases, it would have been a perfect case. In the meantime, let's all take care of our collections. These are part of our history, and we gotta respect and take care of them. So, thanks for watching Okado's Retro Reviews, and hasta la próxima. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I got some more here as well. If you're feeling a little bit political, watch my opinion on Gamergate. What about a good old-fashioned battle between Nintendo and Sega? Or you can watch my review Secret of Mana. I made my wife play with me.